Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, leaving a like, leaving a comment, or subscribing, all of these things are appreciated. Please understand, this is not investment advice. Please make sure if you are going to invest in anything that you have paid your rent, you have food in your refrigerator, you have paid off your debts, and any leftover money that you can afford to lose, that's then what you invest with. This is a video. I am sorry for being so late with this. There were multiple people who kept on asking me in the comment section on the other channel and on Twitter for this video, and I'm finally getting into it right now. I once again am so sorry. They were asking for my list of the top 5 comics currently on VeVe, VeVe being the carbon neutral NFT app that I have been talking about before. It has exploded in popularity. When I got into it, I believe there were around 400,000 users, and then there were 1.2 million users. And the last estimate that we got, I believe, is somewhere over 2 million. And the second most common request was, please tell me the top 5 comics on VeVe without mentioning Miles Morales, because I know I've mentioned him a couple of other times before. I personally think he's quite important for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, there's no Miles Morales on this list. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 5 is actually a tie, and I'm really slightly confused as to why these comics are still so undervalued. It is a tie. Number 5 is a tie between Journey into Mystery number 85, which is the first appearance of Loki, and Amazing Spider-Man number 14, which is the first appearance of the Green Goblin. These are pivotal characters not only in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also in the comics, also in just the lore of all of these characters. I have had many times, I have a couple of friends who I discuss NFTs with and NFT prices and just how undervalued is the word that some of them currently are. I've come to see multiple times that comic books that were made in the 1990s that have been put onto VeVe in the digital form are for some reason more expensive than the first appearance of Loki or the first appearance of the Green Goblin. I believe I took screenshots, so they should be popping up somewhere on the screen, but this doesn't make a lot of sense. These are major characters who have been around since the 60s and will continue to be around for a very long time. I'm actually shocked but what I think it is that so many people who are on the app aren't really necessarily into the comic book world, and therefore I don't think they understand the significance of these characters. You may have seen it in the movie with Tobey Maguire. You may have seen it in the other movie where they recast him once again as somebody else, or the latest Spider-Man movie as well. So you see Green Goblin 2 or 3 times in your life, but you don't really understand the significance of the Green Goblin or why there are multiple other goblins who came after him. Anyway, that's not to make the video too long, because I can rant for a very long time about why these comics should be so much more expensive. However, number 5 is a tie between Journey into Mystery number 85, the first Loki, which is another huge character, and Amazing Spider-Man number 14, which is the first appearance of the Green Goblin. The rest of these should come as no surprise. If you are surprised, I don't know what really to tell you. Number 4 is X-Men number 4, the first appearance of the Scarlet Witch, otherwise known as Wanda. I have seen recently, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, VeVe, especially in February, had a bit of an issue with releasing an extra number of comics than they normally would, as opposed to the normal Tuesday and Thursday releases. And a lot of these comics were not up to my standards. I didn't necessarily care for them. The fact that once again a lot of these newer comics that have no real hyper significance, yes, I understand the first appearance of Okoye and the Dora Milaje was also released, cool, got it. However, that should not be more expensive than the first appearance of Magneto's daughter and one of the strongest characters in, if not, no, not one of the, anyway, in the Marvel universe. This comic is Once again, not investment advice. As far as the actual physical version, how far her character is going to go and exactly what she can do and what she means to the Avengers and the rest of the Marvel Universe is incredibly undervalued. I hope everyone understands. I mean, just take time out. You know, the internet's free. Go find some like reading material online. Like read the Marvel Wiki as to exactly who she is and why she's so significant. Definitely number 4, X-Men number 4, first appearance of the Scarlet Witch. Should not be that low at the moment. Number 3 is Fantastic Four number 1. Like I said, these should come as absolutely no surprise because at least at the time of me making this video, we do not have, I mean, when I say big keys, we do not have Captain America number 1, we do not have Amazing Fantasy number 15, and a slew of other comics, so this is why we're here right now. The Fantastic Four has had a very bumpy movie career. I'm pretty sure you've noticed ever since their first couple of movies back in the 1990s. Not a lot of them have done exceptionally well. They've done okay, but now it appears that, for those of you who did not see, they are currently casting for the next movie. It looks slightly promising, but these are allegedly going to be the characters who are going to be dragged into the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, and therefore they will be interacting with the other characters for a number of years. If this new movie that comes out is a hit, expect this comic to skyrocket in price, especially as once again, they will be dragged into the other movies with the other characters, and they will be around for years and years and years to come. I'm happy that a lot of people actually started realizing the significance of Fantastic Four number 1 on the VeVe app, but I still think, I'm pretty sure they were the first Marvel superhero team or family, or I'm pretty sure they were the first team, if I'm not mistaken. So the prices are okay for where they currently are right now, but even then still, if you look at the actual physical copy, which was made in the 60s, and the actual digital copy, and how many of them are actually left on the app, or once again, 2 million people on the app, and I believe only 500 or so actually left on the app for 2 million people. Definitely something to look into, especially if you are a hyper speculator in the future Marvel movies. Number 2, no-brainer. You should all be saying it out loud. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 1, as we do not currently have, and I think VeVe is going to take years to release this. Just a feeling. As we do not have Amazing Fantasy 15, we currently have the Amazing Spider-Man number 1, the second appearance of Peter Parker and the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson, who is a character I cannot stand in any movie or any variation. This is an absolute no-brainer. It is the largest Spider-Man comic that we have on the app. It's Spider-Man. If you, about 10-15 years ago, there was like a survey that was done, and I believe it was, they were trying to figure out what the most popular symbols on Earth were. The number 1 symbol was the symbol for the Superman chest, you know, his S that he has on his chest. And about 5 or 6 years later, that was completely wiped out by the Spider-Man costume. Spider-Man is currently, I believe, the most popular thing on the planet, the most recognizable of any other symbol that we've ever seen around us, and I think this will be this way for a very long time. I will not mention the other new Spider-Man. However, the original will always be the original. He will still have movies regardless of what the new Spider-Man might have, and I agreed a bit more. You may see it currently right now, once again, at the time of me making this video, the current prices on VeVe. What they were a couple of weeks ago, I definitely agreed with that a little bit more. I still think this is also incredibly undervalued for the cultural significance of what this actually is, and also the 2 million people who are now on the app, and I think, I'm going to be honest, around a good 1.95 million of them who have no idea what's basically sitting there for the taking. Number 1, very easy. It is, I was going to try and make a joke, dag. I was going to try and make a joke, but I couldn't remember the name of a really bad comic on the app. It is Marvel Comics number 1. Do I have to say any more? This is In the real world, this is what we call a ghost comic. It doesn't really exist. So yes, it was printed at some point. However, the idea of actually grading comics or keeping comics for a very long time in the 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe early 70s was not really a thing. A lot of these copies are gone, destroyed, have been torn apart, thrown away by parents who told their kids to do something better with their lives. When these do come up for sale, they're actually sold in, I mean, you can really look it up. It's very odd. This also happens for Captain America #1. These are so rare that people are, they want to just simply own a single page to say that, hey, I at least have a page of this comic. This also happens for Action Comics #1 and Superman #1, the first appearance and therefore his first series of Superman from the 1930s. Marvel Comics #1 is a comic I believe at some point, as we have seen the common reach around $400 to $500 before. I am myself speaking with my friends who have been on the app for a while. I wholeheartedly believe the common is going to go above anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 at some point, and I don't think it's going to take a 5 to 10 year period for that to happen. One of the main things, and I'll even give a little segue to the side, one of the main things on VeVe right now, at least at the time of me making this video, is actually quite restrictive to be able to buy a number of things on the app. Why? Because you have to continuously tap on the screen to be able to get up to 600 maximum gems. You click buy, enter your password, you wait, it says okay, and then you have to buy 600 more. When people have free reign on the app to either use the OMI token, or otherwise known as eComi, or maybe even at some point they can simply use a debit or credit card or some other type of linked account to it, I think these comics are going to fly. The movements that we're seeing now is with restricted movement on the app, whether it be putting money in or taking money out. When more integrations have happened, which the VeVe team said at some point will occur, we are going to see, I really do think it's going to be something equivalent to about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when you could have bought the Spider-Man statue for $400, and then I think the highest it got was to $84,000. I think we're going to see movements like that. But it needs to be more open to whales and also potentially have items on OpenSea, which at that point, things will sell like hotcakes. Yes, I do hope that you all enjoyed. I once again apologize for it taking so long for this. I know it's difficult because if you watch the other channel, I make I make at least a video every single day, 365 days a year. Sometimes I make 2 videos a day, sometimes I make 3, and I have that with other side projects and things that I'm doing. So a lot of times I am usually quite exhausted, especially when I start the other channel. I'm just giving you an explanation. When I do the other channel, I start very early in the morning and I do everything else that I have to do. A lot of times I have no energy left to actually make money rules videos, but I'm gonna try and change that, gonna try and find some extra time in the day to be able to essentially work more. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.